Good morning to each of you. Today is March the 13th of 2026. And instead of having prayer this morning, which I wanted to just have my personal devotion prayer, but um, I said, I just decided in the last 3 minutes to come live. So I just had a thought. And so we're going to think together. We're going to have a short discussion about Friday the 13th. I want you to put in the chat Friday the 13th. And we're in the month of March. The month March, the word March is a military term, and it's also a word that is connected to action and taking action, initiation. It is also a word that gives a movement command. March is something that you would do from a stationary point. When you're in the military, you go at ease and then you go attention, and you only can march from attention. Anybody in here ex-military, to let everybody know that's correct. When I was in JROTC for 4 years before becoming a military husband, there were some things that I learned, and I think if I'm not correct, I think I'm correct about that. I'm going off memory. I'm 48 now, and it only could be done from the point of attention, and actually attention as relates to all of the different stances was the trajectory point. That was the point from which you readied yourself for action. Spiritually, that is where we are. We are at a trajectory point. We are positioning ourselves for the next move, for the next moment. We are positioning ourselves to move forward into the future in a particular specific way. So, with that being said, the work that we should be in right now, personally, financially, professionally, should be bringing everything to attention, assessing the postures and the positions that we were in, moving out of those positions. I want you to think about the stock market too. I want you to think about your investments, adjusting ourselves and positioning ourselves for what is next. We can begin to look at our position in the stock market, even and maybe begin to move or diversify out of some crypto and into certain ones, and maybe into war stocks, energy stocks, oil stocks, tech stocks. But at the trajectory point is where we begin to consider our position and begin to make an adjustment. That is where we begin to make an adjustment. Now, what is interesting is the number 13 really speaks to that, because 12 is the order, the gubernatorial order, the governmental order, the apostolic order, the set order, the 12 disciples, 12 gates to the city, 12 sons of Jacob, 12 baskets left over after 5,000 fed, 12 hours in the day, 12 hours in the night. All of that is order, governance. 13 is the breaker. It has a breaker's anointing and initiating a march of forward energy that is tied to it. Now, Europeans later began to look at 13 as something that was negative, and then Hollywood Friday the 13th that made it something negative to the point some buildings don't even have 13th floor. That's how deep the superstition go. But whenever you see the collective rally around a thought, as a prophetic person, you should always pause and begin to question. And concerning the 13, you begin to see that the 13 is actually connected to prosperity, but the prosperity happens and comes out of a break in structure, a break in the typical flow of things. It is the beginning of something different. It is the start of new movement. So it's like 12, you come to attention, and then they say March, and you go into 13 energy. And that's breaking out of that attention stance. March. We are in the month of March, and this is the 13th. And so my mind began to have those thoughts. And then I begin to say, you wait a minute, wait, Larry, wait. March the 13th, Friday, March the 13th, was the day 6 years ago when in America it was declared COVID-19 pandemic. Now, those of us that are spiritual as Christians, and I personally am an African Christian, so I look into the heavens and I look for what? Patterns. And then I consider math, science, and then history. And I see a pattern. Math, science, history. 13, March. This Pisces, history. March 13, 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a pattern. So then I begin to look and chat GPT, and I just done this in literally seconds because I wasn't going to come on, but I'm sharing this with you. We're thinking together this morning. So I begin to go into my chat GPT, and I said, now, let me see, is there a pattern over the last 50 years with Friday, March the 13th? And so I begin to look at that. And let's look at it together because I've done the prompt right before I came in here. And ChatGPT says, I verified the calendar and filtered only the dates where March the 13th actually fell on a Friday during roughly the last 50 plus years. Of course, I gave it a prompt. Then I checked what notable events happened on those exact dates. Below are the major national or global events recorded on those specific days. Now, I want you, before we go into this, a few times say March 13th, Friday, March 13th, Friday, March 13th. I want to get your energy, your focus, your attention, your sensing faculties focused in on this. Friday, March the 13th. Come on, say it about 7 times. Friday, March the 13th. Friday, March the 13th. Friday, March the 13th. Friday, March the 13th. Okay, we got our energy focus. Now let's go into the facts. So Friday, March the 13th happened in 1970. These are the notable events recorded that day. The height of the Vietnam War escalation period with heavy U.S. combat operations going on. Global anti-war protests and student activism expanded across the United States and Europe during this period. And it was on March the 13th, 1970. This is what was recorded on that day. This is what was in the news. So what I extract out of that is March the 13th, 1970 had a lot of war escalation, energy around it. Then Friday, March the 13th, 1981 is the early phase of Reagan presidency and the Cold War military buildup, heightened U.S. Soviet tensions, and NATO nuclear strategy debates. Now, if you're plugged into the news, you know that one of the key factors of this war is all about Iran's nuclear facilities, or the possibility and the fear of them having this. You also know that as it relates to Project 2025, the first president to really listen to the makers and creator of Project 2025 being the Heritage Foundation formed in 1973, you know that Reagan was like the first president who really began to implement some of these things. Friday, March the 13th, 1981. Friday, March the 13th, 1987. Let's look at that. So the headlines were reading Global Stock Market Crash. And later on, after that, it became the Black Monday later that year. Also, the U.S. and Soviet negotiations that led to INF nuclear treaty later on in 1987 was being talked about on Friday, March the 13th, 1987. Then Friday, March the 13th, 1992, there was a major earthquake in Turkey. So it's that area over there. 650 people were killed. So there's two global disasters recorded on that day, Friday, March the 13th. Then Friday, March the 13th, 1998. Reid, what are you doing? I'm just looking at the numbers, doing the math, the science, and looking at history to find patterns. This is how you project, or let me say, traject. You look at everything, its posture, its positions, and you begin to gather the detail and make adjustments that affect where you land. Make sure your aim is proper. So let's continue to think together. Let's draw these parallels and look at these patterns. So March the 13th, 1998, the key event was the science and space operations. NASA space operations and satellite programs, they expanded significantly during the 1990s shuttle area. So the headlines that day were dominated by science and space operations. March the 13th, 2009. In 2008, 2009, we were in a global financial crisis, the housing market. I remember that. Countrywide, bank loans, Bank of America, the mistakes that they made trying to get everybody in a home, and these crazy loans. So governments and central banks worldwide were implementing major stimulus programs to stabilize the banking system. You know that didn't work. So that was the conversation, the headlines on that day. Then 2015, that was in Friday the 13th, 2015, that was during the oil price collapse era. So the global energy markets were destabilized surrounding oil. What is happening right now due to the war? It looks like it's going to be $200 a barrel, $200 a barrel. We're dealing with some form, some kind of oil collapse. March the 3rd, Friday, March the 13th. Then Friday, which is probably the most recently notable that we all remember well, March the 13th, 2020. This was the day, Friday, March the 13th, 2020, where the United States declared national emergency because of COVID-19. In the headlines that day was also Breonna Taylor killed in Louisville police raid, which became central to the Black Lives Matter protests. Global stock markets were in pandemic crash mode on Friday, March the 13th, 2020. And now today, Middle East tensions involving Iran, Israel, and U.S. forces are set for uptick. We possibly could see, and then of course, the energy market is volatile right now because of security concerns and with the oil and all of that. So we could see within the next few days the Middle East tensions involving Iran and Israel and U.S. forces escalate significantly, because around Friday, March the 13th, we have seen historically over the last 50 years a connection between global tensions, global market stocks, oil, and war. Geopolitical tension cycles, major financial instability periods, global crises and disasters, and really these were turning points or tipping points and trajectory points. So this 13 across religious traditions and ancient knowledge and cultures and astronomy and numerology, this 13 is significant. 13 is a transformative moment. Moment 13. 13. 12, remembers the order, is the structure. But then 13 is the force that breaks that structure to create something new and to go a different way. May the energies, spirits, powers, anointings of 13 invade your day today. We call forth, conjure, and become aware of the significance of the number 13. And then if you want to add the 3 and the 1, it comes to a 4, and that deals with order. So it's a new order. Force comes to create and to make a new order, to break the old order and introduce something new. So 13 begins a new cycle. And we look at the 12 months of Gregorian calendar. The 13th month will be the first month. So it would be the breaking of an old structure to create a new cycle, a new beginning. If you look at the 12 disciples plus Jesus comes to what? 13. So 13 is the first step into transcendence. 13 is the first step into spiritual elevation. There's launch, start, begin energy in 13. We're just thinking together and looking And as we talk and think together, we're starting to wrap around some prophetic meanings, and energy starts getting stirred up. So 13 is transformative, 13 is transitional. I'm giving you all of this so when you do your 1313 seed, you got all this on it. Transition, transformation, 13, rebirth, crossing into a new phase of existence. 13 can symbolize divine leadership, being surrounded by appointed men. What do you mean? Jesus plus the 12 creates a team. So you're dealing with divine leadership and appointed, selected men around that leadership who do something amazing, changing and flipping the world upside down. The 13 is here with us. I will represent the divine leader. All of you in the chat are the divine appointed, selected by heaven people. And together we work to impact the world, change. Mm. 13 also connects us to the lunar cycles, which is what? Feminine power. In a solar year, there are 13 lunar cycles. So this number 13 is also associated with the woman, feminine power, the feminine aspect of God. Mm. 13 deals with fertility, feminine wisdom. May it be released upon you today. Lunar power or lunar magic. 13 also speaks to the cycles of life and death, rebirth. So that 13, 1, 3, 1, we're in a what year? 10 or 1 year leadership. So this layer 13 has that 1 energy, the initiation, leadership energy. Then that 3, that deals with full, total, complete expression of creativity, the power of creation. And then a third layer would be the 4 that deals with structure, foundations, and building systems. So 13 is transformative. 13 is feminine. So now we see why the number 13 has been hexed by patriarchy, because it also represents the woman. So in addition to all of that, that 13 symbolizes, looking at March 13, 2020, it signifies the beginning of the unstabilization or destabilization of a system. It also, number 13, symbolizes karmic correction. Many numerologists call 13, is what it's saying here on ChatGPT. Many numerologists call 13 a karmic work number. Now, in Jewish mysticism, 13 is sacred. I guess if Christianity didn't like that, it stole everything else from Judaism, and let's throw this away. Exodus 34 gives 13 attributes of divine mercy. The word ahava, which means love, and this is gematria, which you know is Jewish, equals 13. The word Echad, that means oneness, also equals 13 in gematria. So 13 also symbolizes unity, divine compassion, and spiritual integration. Cosmic cycle, spiritual timing. So 13 is really a cosmic rhythm number. And so we need to syncopate our energies on today with 13, spiritually, cosmically. So we're getting rid of this unlucky 13 idea. And we're seeing that 13 symbolizes transformation, transition between cycles, a destruction of the old structure, spiritual rebirth, divine unity, lunar and feminine power, and karmic restructuring. 12 established the order, 13 is the force that resets the order. I want you to think about this all day and stay in that energy. And also, don't forget, yesterday is the beginning of our ancestral veneration for 7 days. Yesterday, while I was in water, my grandfather showed up and spoke with me. And he began to say, and this is revealed to me by the Spirit, and I began to understand what the will of the Spirit was, just letting me know that we need to be consciously in an observation and in an honor as relates to past civil rights leaders, agents of change. Because remember, what's happening globally is happening globally. But locally, civilly, there's a war that is going on. So what I want you to do, when you do your 1313, I don't know what part of this small teaching about the number 13 jumps out at you. But whatever that part is, create a seed name. Connect it to the $13.13. And let me know in the chat what your $13.13 seed is. I want to see what hit you, what you extracted, and what this moment, this conversation has meant for you. And then I want you to take 3 to 5 minutes and begin to shape your day, knowing what the number 13 means, what the significance of Friday the 13th is in the March month, and begin to use your articulation to create the day that you desire. And see, this is how I do. Do y'all in your personal life, like if we hadn't came live to pray, and you looked at Friday the 13th and saw, would you immediately saw the 3 and 4? Would you also thought about, I wonder what happened, what's the significance of Friday the 13th? How many of you, maybe you wouldn't have pulled it all out like that, but how many of you would have had that thought? I'm not asking you to put in the chat, but I'm just asking a question. This is how you should live your life. For instance, let's suppose you got an appointment at 11 o'clock. You look at it 11, you know what 11 means. You may begin to call certain angelic assistants at that 11 o'clock appointment. And then you get there, but you get there, you're in car space number 1. Do you pay that attention? When you walk through the door, what's the numbers of the address? As you look at those numbers, what does that mean? See, this has been prophetic and spiritual. A prophetic person is an attentive person. A prophetic person looking for symbols, numbers, looking at color, shapes, and extracting information. And this can cause you to know and to see what someone else doesn't see and doesn't know. We learn these numbers from nature. We did not make numbers and then begin to look at nature. We looked into nature, shapes, times, water, earth, air, and we begin to solve patterns and begin to call them numbers and then call them colors. So we learn from the element. The element didn't learn from us. So we must pay attention to these numbers, these dates, and these patterns, to the math and the science of everything. My sister says, I look at everything different now, especially numbers and meaning. I spoke with Daddy yesterday, Neil. He was telling me what the doctor's saying. And basically, I took all of the information and put it in my GPT that I have for medicine and doctor stuff. And it basically told me that it's like 4 stages of of heart failure. And he's in the 3rd critical stage. So it's right before that bad stage. And right in that stage, really, to where he could go to sleep one day and then don't wake up. And so I sat with that. And I asked him, what's your age? I said, what's the infraction number? I want to know. And I asked for them numbers because I'll take the numbers. I look at his age, 71. He born in 1954. He's a Gemini, and begin to just do some calculations. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we all should live our life. Nurse Janae says, my daughter was born on Friday the 13th. She has been a force since her first breath. Her name is Jolie, which means beautiful. My seed is Jolie Forsey. Wow. Whoa. Numbers are prevalent in my life. It's the little things that form patterns for me. Yes, in all our life, we just ain't paying attention. I also created time as a measuring tool. I love that. Martha Weston said, she done 1333. Was made it a 10. That's the year that we're in. That speaks of 1 leadership. Remember, 13 got the 1 in it. And she said, new leadership management in my new position. Now, that's a technician. That's a prophetic technician. That was smart. 133. I got that. I see all of that. This bus I was assigned to drive today is 1360. You see now? You see what's happening? Now you start paying attention. And that comes to a 10, which comes you back to a 1. In a year 10, 1. You call it a new beginning seed. Teruma, rebirth, transcendence, and transformation seed. So true. I woke up at 4:44 a.m. and ultimately concluded in a complete visitation with my father. Mind blowing. See there? 113, 13 divine feminine foundation seed, and 132 Teruma seed, son of gratitude. Erica. And I begin to hear the sound of a wind and the smell that is stale. And I ask Spirit, what is this? And I'm in a pyramid. The Aztec spirituality number system. Today, sit with that and see what the number 13 means to the Aztecs and in Kemet. Because spiritually, I've just been traveled when I said your name. and I'm in an old structure that is in the base of a pyramid. And I'm walking out of there with something in my hand. And this is some kind of chest or box. And I'm meeting you outside this space and place. God says that I'm bringing you into your goddess moment. I'm bringing you into goddess energy, priestess energy. And you must study and unlock the ancient wisdoms before you and before your time. I am connecting you to a calling that was dropped by a priestess. Lona, 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 Leona, Leona. Is there any women in your family line who has the L sound or L letter? But I'm saying all after her, and it gets down to you, to where they will pick it up but won't finish it. But it's going to be finished in you. The spiritual technologies are going to be made known to you, and you will use them not just for yourself but for others. And then you must pass to another woman that is younger to you. Sister, daughter, cousin, you must pass. Mhm. Dr. Kim says hers feminine energy, wisdom seed, Trenton Dunner, to remain transitional seed. And it's interesting from what you told me. That's smart to sow that. That's good, Shelley. Matriarchal wisdom, smart. Heightened awareness, smart. Let me take the good Let me tell you a story before I move forward. In the scripture, they always talk about march around the walls 7 times and those walls came tumbling down. But the reality is that they walked around that wall 13 times, once a day for 6 days, 7 times the last day. That's the power of 13. 13, 13. Tammy Franklin. And Spirit says that it's important for you to be working with your candles in this season. And it's also important for you to go somewhere and get, if you don't have, if you have, great, and stay around the color orange. Your awareness is the color orange. If you want to transcend and you want to connect and you want to open your spiritual sight, get orange around you, and you can couple it with gold. The vibration of these colors are connected to your spiritual sight and heightening of your awareness. And I also want you, and this is why, because see, a flame of fire is an orange gold. So work with these candles and these colors for the heightening of your senses, and you're going to get directions concerning work, money, career, and love. Tay, God bless you. Cartrice, Divine Cosmic. Okay, I see what you're doing. Cartrice. Activation is here, Spirit says. And also your healing is here, your abdomen area. Spirit says that I'm opening you up and I'm literally gutting you. And I'm pulling out of you what is no longer a part of the equation. And this deal with people and family and friends as well. And you're going to begin to move forward. I'm clearing you out so that you can begin to house something new and give birth to something new for me. And also, I'm stirring in your giftings and in your abilities. You are creative. And it's time now for you to create. I see music around you. I don't know why I see this music around you. I don't know if it's in your family bloodline or if you sing in a choir or you're in a group. But I see music that is around you. And that, for me, speaks of creativity. And I also see where music through her. Did you Were you a music teacher, or did you give birth to a child that's musically inclined? I see the creativity passing through you. Mm. But Spirit says, Larry, I'm calling her upward. I'm calling her out and into individuality to complete works that have begun that have not been completed. Separation is going to give you liberation. Do not be afraid to stand alone and on your own. All right. 313 to Ruma. Okay, I see what y'all doing. And 113 Divine Leadership Seed. Okay. And I begin to look up in the spirit and I'm pulling at something. Mm. The spirit says that you are about to come to a fresh start and your hands are already over the threshold. You have began to change how you handle things. And you are being called to maintain the change about your hands and how you handle things. And as you're faithful doing this, Spirit says, I'm pulling you head, shoulders, belly, and feet into an entirely different world. And you will have no evidence and you will have no disease from past agony, betrayal, rejection, and abandonment. Every issue in your soul is being cleared and cleaned out that has infected your relationship, your leadership, and your finances. God says that I'm giving you a new start. Keep your hands in the new plan, and I'm bringing you over this threshold. It's like you're going to come all the way over into a new season. But keep the hands faithful with the new plan. hmm You're moving from being to bad, handcuffed to bad memories. Mm, yeah, and that's over and that's complete. Tammy 1313. Thank you, Shelley 1313. Beverly Sweeten 1313. Belta Slane 1313. Transcendence. I see this divine feminine move forward. Y'all got it. Y'all extracting out of every aspect of 13. You got it. Taruma 113, 88, 88. Glow Getter C with intention of manifestation. Got it. Let me see 816. I see. Got it. New Year Pivot Seed. Okay, got it. DeQuincia, Taruma Tai, and Divine Alignment, Divine Wisdom Seed. Okay, DeQuincia. The Spirit says dealings and deals. So partnership is extremely important now. That's friendship. That can be social. That can be romantic. But it's extremely important because Spirit says you're going to be making deals, and then there's a shifting in your dealings. So socially, you're going through a shift. Relationally, you're going through a shift. Embrace this shift. Acknowledge this shift. Honor this shift, and do not try to stop. Any form of separation or space being created is necessary and is temporary. And then when it comes to deals, I want you to begin to look at partnering, number one, with yourself, surrounding, doing something new. And then also look at the possibility of working with someone else to accomplish this. Because I see you coming into a new moment, but not alone. You're doing it as a partnership. So I release the favor, the technologies, the systems, and the wisdom to partner in a new effort. And I also speak wisdom in relationship shift and dealings. Mhm. Latina, cosmic corrective. I see. Mr. Lance, hey, wow. Martha Weston. Okay. The spectacular is about to be revealed to you and through you. A spectacular moment. A moment where you shine bright and where you are in the center of this new found thing, project, policy, maybe even. But you're at the center of this. And this is an eye blinding, shining moment where your recognition begins to reverberate. And I see your name taken by the wind into a room to where there is going to be conversation. And there has been, and there will continue to be conversation. You're being observed, Spirit says, because I'm looking at a fowl, FOWL, uh-huh, with sight, which I don't know what kind this is, but you've been observed. Always know that right over your shoulder, there is cosmically a camera, energetically a viewing, a monitoring that is going on. And this is going to work in your favor because of your discipline and your honesty and your commitment to making sure everything is completed. And this is going to cause the alarm to be sounded about who you are, how you are, and advancements are going to be made. 1313, walking into destiny seed. Got it. New order seed. Oh, it's your niece's birthday. Oh, Monica Quiones. Trajectory, transition, divine leadership. See, got it. Wow, my maternal grandmother's name is Lula. I know I try my best. You see me struggle with that. I'm supposed to write about transformation today. Been speaking to all women all week about collective for whoa. Wow. And I saw that. I think I articulated that part too, didn't I, Erica? I was trying to work with that. Leula. What how did I say that? But you remember that word because that's nuts. Okay, the real chi, 1313. Bless you. Next day, CJ. Oh, you said the end of old me seed. Yee. I got it. 13 walls come down. All right, transition, transformation, a new birth seed. Got it. Gail DeGrasser. How you doing? Crossing into a new phase of existence seed. Today, Friday the 13th, is my mom's 81st birthday, celebrating all day. I'm blessed to have, oh, that is a blessing. Enjoy that. At doctor's appointment, and my parking code is 20. 2, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, that's 3, 4 times. Yeah, you see that? I know you live your life paying attention. You glow. There's certain ones you I spoke to. Y'all very attentive at that kind of going on. Linda Pro, new start. That's smart. Dr. Constance 11333, creation, manifestation. That's smart to do because you got so many areas of leadership you're in. And I hear Spirit saying this to me. Over the next 90 days, there's going to be a strong concentration and consecration that is going to be in your life. You're closing out old energy, but it's like you're getting rid of an old feminine power that you have used and been connected to and worked with. And you're coming into a new feminine power. You're sitting differently with your femininity, and this is so that you can be the chief inspirer in the life of other women. And that you're going to show them how, but you're going to show them how you have become. And this is going to cause them to make corrections. It's a correction that's entering your feminine leadership, and it is changing how you show up. And the women around you are going to begin to change. There's going to be a new feminine connection that you're going to begin to make. And you're going to also enjoy being around. You're not going to be this is how I see it. You're going to be one of many powerful women that lead as a group. In times past, you've led alone. You've always been outside of the pack, just a little bit ahead. That's an old feminine model that is just breaking down in your life. And you're coming into a moment where you sit with women that rank like you and higher. For Spirit says your femininity at this moment must become teacher and student. And this is going to cause your edges to be smooth. And you're going to become a technician and a doctor of communication. Wow. A communication expert, and that is God's words to you. Communication expert, write that down. Write it down a few times and get that in your spirit. Because in that world of femininity and women, communication is, you're being corrected and perfected as a communicator. Corrected and perfected as a communicator. Spirit says communication expert. That is going to change your leadership and your influence. Mother Irene, my new phase of existency with power and wisdom. Got it. Our great grandmother Lula. That's some word to this one. That was some sighting. I knew something was up when I found out I'm in a pyramid in the Aztec and Kemet. I said, wait. It almost made me want to go to Africa. I want to go somewhere because that'll snatch me up out of Dubai. She's also 8. Whoa. DeQuincia. Danielle Tibbs, how are you? 13333 Taroma and 1333 transformation seed. It's interesting that you put transformation. When I begin to look at your name, I begin to see transportation. And this transportation isn't just in the natural, but this transportation, because he changes around transportation, but I'm also looking at transportation spiritually. You must begin to consecrate yourself and change your diet, and that is going to be a new start launch on a personal level. You're moving into the next phase of your transformation, for you've been under transformation over the last 3 years, over the last 3 weeks, and you're going to be going into the next phase of transformation. But you must do work around the start and the launch. And the first thing you must do is detoxify your body and detoxify your mind. I even see where it's like the innermost part of your soul has to be cleansed from what was, then detached. And this detachment from all of that is part of the transformative work that must be done within you, because you are in transformation and transportation. And as I said, in the natural, I see changes around transportation. If you've been pondering a sale, a trade, a downsize, yeah, go forth with that. Bless you, Danielle. My case numbers today were 7 and 6, that's 13, and 707, which also has 13 in it. Okay, there's a pen. Okay. All right. Okay, good. Carter, I'll make sure Uncle Buster, I won't even coming on, but look what this turned into. Jesus. Crystal, bless you, ancestors. That's smart to do. Let's stay with that. Mm. I sow the transformative wisdom and grace rebirth power seed 5313 today. Is my dad turns 75 today. My birthday on March the 5th. 7513 to room. I see what you're doing. Oh, you combine that well. 5313. So y'all becoming tacticians. Mm, yeah, of course. 3133 Taruma 31313. New ideas, new awakenings, new knowledge, new awareness. See. And Spirit says that as you are beginning to embrace the possibility of what could be, I'm going to begin to show you what you're missing out on. And this is going to put a running in you. And this is also going to put in you a consideration that if you follow through, it's going to change everything in your hands. And Spirit says, open up in the space where there is hesitation. There's also a house called fear. And I hear the sound of deconstruction. And this deconstruction is messy. This deconstruction is wild. And this deconstruction is tragic. This house that fear made lives in you. And it's the limitation in your faith, and it's the limitation in your function, it's the limitation in your prophetic mantle, it's the limitation in your leadership. And Spirit says that I'm sending a reconstruction and deconstruction, but if you fight me, it's going to be a destruction. What I have planted, I will see all the way through to its full potential in you, saith the Spirit. And I am the Father that you must get to know. And I am the Father that you must search for. And I hear the Spirit say, my son. And I am going to reveal to you me. And it's going to be like looking into a mirror, seeing yourself for the first time. It's the words of God to you. Who just texted me? Y'all know I'm working. Oh, Lord, that's y'all over there in the what's the name? Thank you, Stacy Percolette for Taruma. How the kids and your husband? All right, let me get out of here. This is supposed you, Marco. You see how what this turned into, and I want him coming on. I am behind. Hey, DM, how you doing? DM, I see your hands going into a situation, and you're pulling something out. It's almost like that was in there. This would have been the problem, and you yank it out. You are anointed to discover what is not right in this season, and you have to do some nasty work. You got to dig in because this. I was looking in my vision. It's a refrigerator that is filthy, and right there in the door, there's this gunk, and it seeps through the crack. But you're pulling up the seal and reaching in there and pulling all of that out. This is the dirty work that you're going to be in. And you're going to do this with everyone that's around you. When I say everyone, not every single person, but this is more than 2 or 3 situations that you're going to be doing nasty, dirty work of getting to the root of the problem. And you can also do this as relates to finances. You need to go back and look at insurances and look at portfolio, what is happening with investments. There's correction that needs to be made around life insurance, insurances, accounts. If it's in CDs or money market accounts, something needs to be flipped and changed there. The correction is also financial. Mm, You listen to it. Divine feminine energy, cosmic alignment. Got it. Wow, my family is very strong musically. Yes, I saw that. My eyes are open this morning, look like. I mean, not saying they ain't other mornings, but it's just a certain kind of way sight do sometimes. Miss Lashonda, let's see, divine discernment. Baby, now you know discernment ain't spelled like that. Strategy and spiritual enlightenment. Smart, 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 smart. Thank you so much, Dr. Reid, for your gift of insight. It's a gift of sight, sacred gift of sight, but it's a calibration that has everything to do with what I've been through, walked through, and kept praying. Thank you. Mm, 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 mm. Aretha, how are you doing? Divine protection and providence. Whoa. Okay, you got it. Crywell Vicky. Karmic. That's smart. Because, see, when I read your seed name, I looked at a pebble that fell into this body of water and I looked at the ripple. There is something that has happened that caused a ripple effect, a thing after thing, hurt after hurt, failure after failure, bad news after bad news. One thing happened and then a breakdown. And Spirit says that I am healing you. I'm healing you from it. And then I'm going to use you to heal others and help others. I see you pulling people out of a hole. It's like you're the person that gets your head out and then you step to the side and you're literally helping others out. And Spirit said these are your family members and people that are connected to you. There is a prophetic gift that is in you that dreams. I want you, before you go to sleep, to prepare yourself and listen to the Spirit to be with water before you go to sleep, because you're going to begin to get instructions concerning the way back and the way out. You're getting back to you and you're getting back to what you know is right. But doing that means that you must make an exit. hmm And that anointing is upon you now to complete it. Karma is correcting herself. Y'all do know karma is a whole bitch, right? hmm It's feminine energy. It's like a Medusa energy. hmm Hola, how you doing? Prophetic ascension seat, smart. Larry, I began instructing the new team next week with a huge lesson that is needed. Whoa. Okay, put in the chat. My prophet's eyes are wide open this morning. I don't know, and I want him to coming on. Maybe because I literally, no, you're no lie. I'm laying in my bed. Kendall woke me up. I'm like, He said 7:30. I said, well, I just think I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna just wake up and do my own devotion. And then I turned to my left. Marco text me, and I said, Kendall. He said, you up? I said, yeah. I said, Kendall just woke me up. He said, why ain't he let you sleep? You ain't got to do prayer every morning. You know, Marco likes the fuss. I said, yeah, I agree. I said, I'm gonna lay right here, and I laid my head back. And March the 13th was wrote on my ceiling. So then I looked. I sat up, and I'm here. Ain't that crazy? And all of this just wouldn't have happened. It just wouldn't have happened. So, Larry, if you wouldn't have came on, so you get in trouble with God, or because all this stuff happened. Let me tell you, I said, God is in us, and He do what we do. We God in the sense that He lives in us. You know what I mean? Come on now. Hey, Ann, how are you? I enjoyed ministering to you yesterday. Dorothy, and you done a transcendence transformation. So y'all really paying attention. This is a blessing. Ten Taruma, Father, my BFI. Come on, Dorothy. Y'all have blessed my heart so good to watch you. I know y'all studying. Erica said, you did. I'm going to screen record this and study Kemetic and Aztec aspects of 30. Please. I know you are. You're a great student. I know you are. Oh, we bless them. Oh, my God. Vanda, Taruma and 113, balanced sight to see compassion. Vanda, can I share with them? Remember, I was telling you guys, I should drop the link so you can tell them in your own voice. But remember, I said when I was prophesying to her yesterday, I said, I keep coming to your voice. When she texted me and told me, I said, you get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, I was looking at that thing. You're telling me more stuff. Do you want to share this? Cause remember, I kept saying I keep getting to your throat, and as I'm right there in your voice, and she began to explain what was going on. Are you okay with me telling them? Lord, I'm so behind. She said, of course. But Kendall, you highlighted that, and I done got out of some place. Okay, we have Vonda. Okay, okay. So I ain't gonna say everything, but I say this. She said, by the way, I have a diagnosis of hypothyroidism right in her throat. I remember I kept saying every time I said I keep drawn to your throat. But let me say this. She said after the diagnosis, I was really scared and tried praying, but I was all over the place. I thought of every healing scripture, inflammation, the weeks follow. So this was a thing, and I didn't know this. But let me say this to you. I'm allowed in this moment to do this for you. I clear all issues surrounding your throat up quicker. It's like I'm being told to say, swiftly you go through the healings, because it's a layered healing, is what I see. And you're going to pass through these quickly. And as your physical throat issue heal, so does your voice. The root of this came out of you burying your voice. And then you started looking for your voice, and then you realize, oh, they're giving me this diagnosis. But the finding of your voice is the healing of your voice, and the healing shall be manifested in your physical throat. I want you to anoint your throat every single day until the Spirit tell you to stop. And when you're washing your body, I want you to wash intentionally your throat area. and some cells are going to be corrected in there. And we watch and behold your healing. I mean, your future, and you're singing. hmm That is so. Robin, the Spirit says to continue to stay in a run because I see this haste. I see this desire to get it done. I see this desire to complete it. Stay in that mode. That is going to cause you to run into an opportunity, and someone's going to help you. They're going to help you get it. They're going to help it close it out. hmm Jessica, what you are doing is actually bringing your companion into this as well. There's been a gap, maybe a disinterest when it comes to some of the things that you're interested and focused on. But I see that gap closing, and I see interest that is going to be shared between the both of you that are spiritual, that are financial, that's around real estate, stock market. I'm seeing a interest amongst you having in common where there hasn't been. hmm A meshing together. It's like it's getting more intricate and deeper and intimate. A new intimacy. And this is going to really get things moving because partnership and relationship is spiritual. And I see that deepening for you. I don't care what's going on right now, it's getting deeper in a new way. That syncopation, that honesty, that communication, it's getting deeper. And that partnership, shared interests, no divide there. And that's going to have a ripple effect. Why I just remember, Erica is toe up with this word. Why I just remember that our great grandmother was indigenous. You see that? Hey, Carrie, God bless you and thank you. Rosetta, God bless you, thank you. Trajectory seed. Oh, that dual. Ooh, I see that, Carrie. Heightened discernment and transformative. See, smart. She got it. I was so after my appointment, but I'm so in 1344. Got it. Let's see. Should have said paternal great grandmother. Got it. Ebony Black leadership, new beginnings. Look, I'm telling you, DeQuincy is gonna tell everybody bye first every time. She's gonna say, "All right, I see y'all later." Okay, Vonda, call Carrie. Carrie had the same diagnosis at the direction of Prophet Mako. She had the operation, and all things are well. She said, "Reach out to her because your outcome gonna be the same." So go ahead and connect with your sister that has already walked through that energy of that. And you can trust Carrie. I don't know if y'all have a relationship. That's one of our advisory board members. The Quincy said, "All right, now y'all be blessed." Yolissa, okay, to room 13, cosmic and lamp. Got it. You said although today the 13th adds up to an 8. Maybe that's why Global's doing them 8s. I was thinking of canceling one policy because it is not a good one. I found another policy that's better. Oh, y'all, today was the eyes is just open. What is going on? Wow. Wide open ain't them all. And I was minding my business. I declare. What came up out my sleep just seeing. Say, oh my God, I'm so late. What's the seeds? Something with 13. Yes, baby. But listen to it first. All right, let me go. I see y'all later. Warly beloved to you this way I say, take care of. Neil said we have the same thing. Okay, now you need to connect with Carrie because she done walked through it. She said, I do it because of the. Okay, it's funny though. You keep right on. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, so we can see the way. Hey, Rhonda, how are you doing? 8888 Taruma and 11313 Pivot Alignment. Hold on a minute. Are you on my list? No, Kristen. Who is this? I got Kristen Patton, Crystal Johnson, Andrea Williams. Troy. No, that ain't right. I done did that. Is that right? Oh, Loretta McFarland, Blender. Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There was a 7, 7, 8 is the dials. No, but that dials one, I had already done the prophecy. Miss Pat. Um, no, I hadn't done the prophecy. That's right. I didn't do it. That's right. So just these. Got it. Got it. Let me see here. Okay, let me get back to what I was doing. Wow, thank you, Dr. Ray Rimmer. Oh, Rhonda. Okay, I'm gonna go after this. Rhonda, you're gonna be experiencing a ridiculous release, and life has been so interesting for you to where you make a decision to do this, then the opportunity to come up here, and then you do that, and that's fine. You're along for the ride that the spirit has you on. And though you think you're making decisions and choices, it's really spirit that has you in and almost like a slip and then a slide, and then you're in something new. And this is just how it's going to be for you. And you operate there, you're graced for that kind of movement and flow. And as a result, your faith has been supercharged. And you're going to begin to show others how to have faith and let faith have you, because that's how it's been for you. It's almost like faith has been imputed unto you as a gifting and as a ability to believe anyway. And you're going to begin to shape conversations and also shape coaching around that. Coach, Rhonda, coach, Rhonda, the Spirit says. And you will begin to show others the way. Embrace this course for coaching. Create it, do it, and be it, and show them their way. All right, guys. Gregory, what do you say? Destruction of old system seed. Makes sense. Everyone with hypothyroidism don't require surgery. Every case diagnosis is different. Adding to instructions from the prophet. They just do your due diligence and research, etc., for what path is best. Thank you. Got it. That's just come somewhere diagnosed with that at 31. 13. That's 13. You see, you flip them numbers in your head. All right. God bless you all. A woolly beloved. This is the way I say this is a unexpected last minute supposed to do prayer. You still got to do your 3 to 5 minutes. But it was just a conversation and it turned into this. What an amazing moment. Those that won't hear, share it with them so they can be in the energy of what we shared, especially in the energy of open sight. God bless you. I'll see you later.